Welcome all to the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fantastic radiators are in Toyotas, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. My name is Tyler, and joining me for another fun episode of the Snail Trail 4x4 off-roading podcast is Mr. Off-Roading Extraordinaire, Mr. Jimmy J. Daddy Jet Black. How are you doing, buddy?
I am doing very well. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Good. I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. You all done with your Christmas shopping yet?
No.
Yeah, have you started?
I did actually.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I usually start around the beginning of November.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of have an idea throughout the year. I actually make lists for people throughout the year.
Right.
Of,
I do the same
stuff that I think that they'd be good. And if they get it throughout the year, then I cross it off the list. And
Smart.
Yeah. So anyways, I start around November because that's kind of when people start mentioning sales of stuff, and I keep an eye out for stuff. But I'm still not done.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not near done yet either.
Yeah.
Not near done.
Not near yet done.
However
not
that
yet
works.
Near done.
There you go. That's better. I'm good at English.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I am. Man, welcome to the show. This is a Thursday show. And so we get to talk a little bit about things and fun things we've been up to. Let's see. We have a phone call. What are those called? A voicemail?
Voicemail. Okay, cool.
My English are good. And we have a voicemail. We have a couple reviews to get to today. We have some fun things that Jimmy and I have been up to. So it'll be a fun episode, I think.
Oh, yeah.
A question mark?
Yeah, we for the most part, we haven't done a whole lot of off-roading. Well, you did a little bit. Sort of.
I did get off pavement, so I got in the dirt. Okay.
Yeah. That's a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
I drove ever so slightly off dirt if driving on my own property counts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was on private property, so
there you go. Perfect deal.
Yeah. Cool, man. So this month's giveaway, a gift box contest.
Yes.
So it's a present contest. Between Jimmy and I to two lucky winners. So the main part of my gift box that I got turns out it's shipping in from Italy.
Oh my gosh.
I did not realize that when I ordered it. So I'm really hoping it gets here. Well, I guess we have until like the first or second week of January to send them out, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. We should be good then. But
I received my main part of the gift this last week.
Okay.
So mine is, for the most part, is ready to go.
Gotcha.
I just need to gift wrap it.
Do you think we should cut up Kevin's pool noodle?
We could do that
and send it to the two winners.
Yeah. Or maybe give them this High Sierra 4x4 sticker.
There's a few of those hidden around at different spots.
There's one over there.
Uh-huh. They still haven't released that episode. They came over and recorded.
I know. Yeah. That's silly.
Yeah. The Bakken brothers, for everybody out there who may know Jeff or Greg or have a way to harass them, they came over and took over the studio one day to record an episode for the High Sierra 4x4 podcast. And they haven't put it out yet.
No.
And I'm really curious as to see what it is, because I kind of got them all set up in the studio, got their microphones, did all the sound testing and made sure everything was working good for them.
Sure. Yeah.
And then said, bye, see you guys later. And they're like, wait, you're not staying in here? I was like, no, this is a High Sierra episode. Like, you guys, I want you guys to have fun and, you record something.
Right.
So I have no clue what they recorded.
Yeah. I thought about reaching out to Greg and being like, hey man, you need me to edit your podcast for you?
Yeah. Right.
I know you're a little rusty and out of the loop on these things. I don't even know if you have the software on your computer anymore.
I don't know if he does either.
Help you out.
Yeah. So anyways, everybody needs to reach out to Greg and Jeff and harass them about getting an episode done and put out there.
Yes. So, do it.
Please do.
I want to hear what they discussed and how much fun they made of us. How much that sounded weird too. How much they made fun of us. There's the right way to go say it. By sitting in our studio recording on our equipment.
Yeah. Are you having a dyslexic day?
I totally am.
Okay.
We woke up late this morning. So the assistant is the alarm clock for the most part. She doesn't like to wake up to like the noise. So she has like I think she has a Fitbit.
Okay.
And it does the vibration on her wrist. So no noise at all. It just vibrates on her wrist and wakes her up. And I don't know if she just slept through it or turned it off and then immediately fell back to sleep or something. But we woke up about 20 minutes later than normal. And so I had to skip my morning coffee. And typically I make a fire in the morning and I skipped that. But because I had to get breakfast ready for the kiddo and we had to rush on absolutely everything to get out the door, but we got to school on time. So that worked out. Yeah.
Nice. Was the kiddo awake?
No. Well, we wake the kiddo up. Okay. We go, we broadcast through Google, Google speakers. And we tell her to wake up.
Nice.
So that way we don't even have to get out of bed to wake her up.
Hey, Google, tell the little one to get up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. Cool, man. So let's see. Where were we? Gifts. I think we're all, I have a few more things to add, but in mine, but yeah, I got that tracking notification that said your item is now shipping and leaving Italy. And I was like, what?
Wow. That's pretty impressive. Okay. Yeah. If you want a chance to win the gifts from Tyler or I, you need to go over to iRate 4x4, go down to the watch list and discuss section, click on the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. And then on the right side on the desktop is the sign up features. And if you're on mobile, scroll all the way down to the bottom and the signups will be down there. And sign up for that gift box tier, the giveaway tier. And that will enter you to win. We do a monthly drawing for giveaway items. And this month's is the presents from Tyler and I.
Yep. So you guys will get to vote and argue amongst each other as to who did a better presents this year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then typically our January is presents that we received that we don't want and we're giving away.
Yep.
So you might get a collared shirt or something, or, some random consumables from Tyler. We'll see.
I don't give away consumables. Those are valuable.
I know.
Jeez, come on. Cool, man. So there's that. We also have reviews as always. So the deal with reviews, in case you're a first time listener, maybe, is that we bribe everybody pretty much to go and leave reviews over on Apple Podcasts, because it seems like a lot of the podcasting search engines, their algorithms tend to work around how many reviews a podcast has. And it seems to run off of the Apple Podcast reviews rather than anything else.
Yeah. So and it does also seem to be calculating reviews coming in.
Yeah.
Right. So the continuous flow of reviews gets you promoted higher.
Yep. I think. Which makes sense. We all like peer reviewed stuff. We want to know what other people like us are saying about something that we may or may not be interested in.
Yeah.
And so having that peer reviewed feedback is super valuable to a lot of things, and we bribe you for it. So the way we do it is we do giveaways based on the reviews. And so every 50 reviews, we do a swag pack. And in order to get entered, all you have to do is leave a review, and we do a drawing from all the current reviews out on Apple Podcasts. So if you can find ways to leave more than one review, that's the way to go. It increases your odds for winning a swag pack every 50 reviews. And then at 750, that's kind of the next big milestone for giveaways. At 750 reviews, we're doing a set of tires, pretty much whatever tire you want. Just no 20-inch rims or bigger, and street compounds, DOT approved compounds. So,
and who are those from?
Yokohama.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Yokohama, for that giveaway. How many reviews are we up to?
That's a good question. Let's see.
Are we at what are we? We're close to 650.
We were close to 600, I believe.
600.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are still at 585.
Really?
Yeah. No new ones have come in.
Interesting.
In a few weeks now, you guys.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get to 750 if people stop leaving reviews.
Well, that'll be good for Yokohama.
Right. Yeah. They get a lot of advertising and don't have to pay anything for it.
Until we finish this podcast and we run out of topics, they're going to get free advertising and never have to give some tires away.
I know, right?
So if you want tires, though, you need to leave that review, because I want tires. So I'm going to have to start leaving reviews, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you and I leave the rest of the reviews,
Our chances of winning are very high.
Go very high. I think that'd be great. So 585 to 730. So that's 120, 115.
Not bad.
No, more than that. 165.
165. Where's Constantine?
Yeah, 165 reviews that you and I got to leave. And then we'll have some pretty good odds at getting more tires.
Sweet.
Cool. I'm down. Let's do it. So we're going to do a couple of reviews. We're going to read some of them.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Okay.
I got to figure out where we left off here. We left off from Wreck-It Rob was our last one we did.
Oh, nice.
So if we...
Speaking of Wreck-It Rob, I have your moose knuckle items and I received them from the gift buy.
You have Wreck-It Rob's moose knuckle?
Items.
I
have his moose knuckle. Yeah.
I stopped listening after you.
That's fine. I have his moose knuckle items in, and I received my moose knuckle jowls in that are going to be going on the Samantha build.
Sweet.
So I'm super excited for those. The accent color that I chose for Samantha is going to be funny.
Okay. Not yellow. Because that's Bobcat.
That's Bobcat.
Okay. Nice. I'm excited. I'm anxiously awaiting.
You're like giddy over there.
I am giddy. I haven't received my moose knuckle yet because I had to wait a little bit to pay because the card got stolen and I had to wait for a new card to show up.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. But we have some reviews here from, let's see, we're going to start at Ricardo 13X.
Sweet. Ricardo, thank you very much.
Yeah, it says, good wheeling conversation. Great material you guys put out. Makes it feel like if you're there having conversation with your boys in the shop while cracking a cold one. I don't know if this one review counts as a partial other language comment, but muchas gracias por todas las horas de entretenimiento y información útil para nosotros los fans de Toyota. Gracias.
De nada.
Mm-hmm. Did you get that?
He said, thank you very much for all the entertainment and for friends of Toyota. Or I forgot what you said after that.
Yeah. Thank you very much for for hours of entertainment and information from all the fans of Toyotas.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So that was I think that's the first bilingual review we've had.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder where he's from.
I don't know. We'll have to have
really like downtown Sacramento,
probably Stockton.
Yeah,
definitely Stockton. So we'll have to get a European to comment. Well, I guess we have had some Australians. That counts as another language.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
The worst language.
Yeah. That's funny. Next one is from Tax It Up.
Tax It Up.
Yeah. It says entertaining and helpful. Lots of good stories from pros and guys that have been around for a while. Always learning something new.
Sweet. Thanks. Tax It Up.
Obviously he's not talking about us.
What?
From pros?
Oh, I missed that part.
It's okay.
I was thinking about taxes and then like cringing.
Yeah, cringing. Fuck, taxes are coming. Next one is from T-Bob134. It says, very fun off-road podcast. I'm an off-road junkie, so I listen to a number of off-road podcasts. I really enjoy Snail Trail 4x4, even though I'm a Jeep guy and not a Toyota guy. I love hearing about the West Coast wheeling, tech talk, and ham info. Keep up the good work. See another review for ham info.
Yeah. How many have we read since there was the last one?
We've only read like 400. Okay.
Yeah. And there's been
2.
Yeah. I had 3 ham radios comments. So thanks T-Bob, even though you're probably in a TJ, I have no idea, but thank you for writing in.
Yep. And last one we'll do today is from Nakoni Dog.
Nakoni Dog.
Yeah. It says great podcast.
Sorry. I was going to go ahead. It's
okay.
Oh, okay.
Interrupt.
Thanks. No, after you.
No, after you. Now we're getting into a Canadian standoff.
Yeah, Canadian standoff. Is it? Coney Dog.
Oh, Coney. Yeah, Coney.
That's what I was
Coney
thinking.
Island.
Coney Island. That's what I was thinking of. I was like, there's a dog named after that. Isn't there a hot dog style thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coney Dog.
Coney Dog.
Yeah.
Got it.
Great podcast.
And by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, just kidding.
No, go ahead.
No, I didn't really have anything. I just wanted to interrupt you again.
Okay. So Nakoni Dog says a great podcast, a lot of useful information. That was it. All that for that.
Am I interrupting? Multiple banter was longer than that review, but thank you, Coney Dog.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you everybody for writing in the reviews. It really does help. I know that we kind of joke around about bribing you guys, but we really do enjoy seeing the reviews and getting to read the interviews and the different interactions we get with you guys, whether that's reviews, running into you out on trails, running into you out at Uncle Tom's, whatever it is. We enjoy it. So
we love hearing your guys' voices on voicemails as well. You can always ring us on our voicemail, which is area code 916-345-4744. And we can listen to your voice, and then you get to listen to your own voice on the air, which is always fun. And
it sounds different.
It always does. Yes. I'm used to it now after doing all the YouTube videos and all these podcasts that we've done. But yeah, it always does sound a little different. Sounds kind of funny, but
so I've never really liked my voice on audio stuff.
Yeah.
And I got to record recently with the Jeepcast podcast, which is the old PNW Northwest Jeepcast.
Yeah.
So they renamed, they're now Jeepcast. And as soon as I started talking with them, they're like, "Oh, you got a really nice voice for radio." And I was like, "You guys are crazy. What are you smoking?"
Yeah.
So
that's funny.
Yeah, it was funny. But yeah, let's see. So speaking of voices and voicemails.
Okay. Yeah.
We have a good buddy of ours called in. I don't think he's ever called in before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was going to ask if it was Donnie, but I realized he's not a good buddy of ours.
Yeah, he's not. That's not a good buddy. Let's see. So this guy called in. Oh, he has a lot to say.
I'm shocked
You'll know who it is.
Is this a buddy that we both have?
Yeah.
Wow, there's not very many of those.
I know.
Okay.
I think you'll figure out who this is. Well, he says who it is, but
I should be able to figure it out from the context clues there.
Yeah. All right. So let's see what Mr. Unnamed Person has to say here.
Hey guys, Jeeper Tom Rosa here. I was listening to your episode about shop safety and whatnot, and it made me remember when I used to tell my kids to once they get it up on the jack stand, to hit it with your hip, hit it with your purse, try to knock it off the jack stand. Too many times people precariously load the jack stands, and if they shift, sometimes they fall, sometimes they scare the crap out of you. And I've always told them it's better to have this vehicle fall while the tires are still on it and you're not under it than the opposite. So I'm pretty proud they've never obviously got crushed by it. But I've had them always push the car really hard and try to knock it off the jack stands before you get under it and start the party. Anyway, just a word of advice from an old shop mechanic when I was going to high school and doing auto shop. Anyway, happy trails. Peace.
Peace. Tommy.
Yeah, Tom, thank you. Thank you for calling in. And that is sound advice. It's something that I really need to incorporate in. I do it every once in a while when something looks a little precarious.
Yeah.
And I'll give it a bump with the hip or a push with the hands. Sometimes you can notice at if you're setting the vehicle down on the axle onto the jack stands, it's just not sitting right. And I will shake it so that it'll seat itself in a good position. And then you hear a pang and you're like, everybody around you, like, what happened? You're like, oh, I just set it, put it in the right spot, settled it in. But that is a good advice. Absolutely. And I'd rather have it do that, fall or shift around when you're not underneath it. In regards to that also, if you're lifting a vehicle up and you're going to do some work probably on an axle or something in the front end, you are going to pull those tires off. So, you break the lug nuts loose first, lift it up, then set it down, and then you take the lug nuts off the rest of the way to pull those tires off.
Yep.
So like he alluded to, shake it around before you pull the tires off.
Shake it around before you pull it out.
Exactly.
Or pull it off.
Pull it off.
Pull it at all?
Yeah. Don't just shake it before you yank it.
Okay. It's a good motto.
Yes. And so shake it before you yank the tires off so that if it does fall, it falls back onto those tires and doesn't fall onto like your disc brakes or anything.
Yeah. How many times have you lifted the vehicle and then realized you hadn't broken the lug nuts yet?
A few times.
Oh,
yeah. There's definitely a few times, but now with some new technology, new air quotes here, just some of the impact guns that are available these days, you can rip them off after they're lifted up. So it's not so much these days where you have to like, oh, I got to get my breaker bar and I have to break these loose and then I lift it and then I can zip them off. The newer technology, like the flex 1/4 inch impact that I have, that's no problem. It zips it off.
Nice.
Yeah. Speaking of Flex too, they're doing a really big sale right now at the end of the year. And at the end of this year, it should be the conclusion of lifetime warranty on your Flex tools. Okay. So if you are looking to get some tools, and I'm probably going to pick up a few more here at the end of this year, so I can just have some more shop tools and have them have that lifetime warranty. So
sweet. Cool. Yeah. I'm looking at picking up a, like a little mini air blower thing.
Yeah. They have one.
Do they have one for Flex? Gotcha.
Yeah. It's not like a mini leaf blower thing, but yeah, it's small, but it's fairly powerful. They also have a really small vacuum that does really good work as well. And I'm going to probably pick one of those up because they're small enough and the hose length is long enough that it's just really easy to vacuum a car out with. You don't have this big bulky shop vac that you're having to drag behind you. It's just this little thing. It's like the size of a small suitcase or a big backpack that somebody would take to school, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. And it does very well. So I'm going to probably pick one of those up for just general cleanup around the shop.
Yeah.
And something I don't have to worry about dragging the shop vac around all the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it. Yeah. A lot of really cool goodies from Flex. We'll have to see if we can get Mr. Corey on in the new year to talk about some of the new stuff they're coming out with and doing. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And thanks again, Tom, for calling in. And if you guys have any other advice or suggestions, or you just want to hear your voice, or another thing I do want to shout out is if there's something going on in your area that you want to promote, call us. And this is, it's a free way of advertising for you guys. So give us a ring, area code 916-345-4744. That number is also down in the show notes, so you don't have to stop and write it down right now. But yeah, give us a ring and we'll play it on the air.
Sweet. I like it. Let's see. I think that does it for all the housekeeping stuff.
I think so.
Yep. We can now, I guess, get over to some of the fun things we've been doing.
Okay.
What have you been doing? I've been
babysitting.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You're picking up a new career?
Huh?
Are you
like no? What? No. This entire week and starting Thursday, the mini assistant has been sick. Yeah.
Ozzy's whole house is sick too. Like it's pretty bad apparently.
Oh man. Yeah. The mini assistant got it. She was actually at her theater play performance.
Huh.
Actually, you know what? Thinking back, she said the night before that her stomach was sort of off. And then the next day she was like, I don't have a ton of energy, and she was just kind of blah. And then that night at the intermission during her play performance, she ran to the bathroom and threw up.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And didn't make it to the bathroom. There was somebody in the bathroom.
Oh, no.
And she was trying to get into the bathroom and tell them to hurry up. And she didn't make it and threw up on the floor.
I did that in school once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and actually today she goes back to theater for her next play. So probably have to see a lot of those people. And so it's going to be an interesting experience for her. Yep. Anyways, yeah. So she was sick, got sick Thursday night, really sick Thursday night, stayed home Friday. So I was kind of around the house more than in the shop on Friday. Saturday, she felt much better.
Okay.
And she threw up a lot on Thursday night. Friday, she didn't throw up at all. Saturday, she was fine. So we actually invited one of her friends over for a sleepover. And then we were going to do a cookie day decorating party on Sunday with a bunch of her friends. Well, Saturday night rolls around and she's like, I don't feel good. I think I'm going to throw up again. I'm not things aren't going well. And, so she went into the bathroom and puked again.
Jeez.
And then so I called the parents of the friend that was over and I was like, hey, I'm going to bring the kid home because Evie's sick and she's throwing up and I think you want your kid out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so Sunday she was just lazy all day. A new television show that she wanted to watch started and she pretty much laid on the couch and watched that the whole time. So yeah, so that was my weekend. That was pretty much it. I mean, it was a lot of taking care of the kid and doing small honeydews and raking leaves, and I installed the new thermostat upstairs and smaller things, like that. We did get our furniture, which is fun.
Nice.
We got a big sectional for the big room, the great room. And we got a couch, a love seat, and a chair for the front room. So that was nice. And that all came in on Friday. But yeah, that was pretty much the gist of what I've done in the last few days. First gen Mike came over and we swapped axle housings.
Okay. So you got one and you got his and he got yours?
Yes. For the primary reason because on the axle housing that I was going to use under Samantha, I put on the top truss and I put on the ball knuckle gussets, and I had a faceplate thing that needed to go on, but I didn't weld that on yet. For all protection underneath for the axle. And the 4-wheel underground kit doesn't really work with the stuff I added on it. And so I do have some other axles laying around in the shop actually, but they all have trusses on them.
Yeah.
And the truss is one of the things that doesn't really work. So I was talking to first gen Mike and he was kind of like, I have a completely stock housing.
Yeah, nice.
I was like, dude, I'll trade you.
Yeah.
Like straight up, like you can have this one that already is gusseted and has the truss on it and everything. I'll take your one that's bare and blank. It's like, serious? I'm like, yeah, because otherwise I'm going to have to cut all this off or take another one and cut a bunch of stuff off. And so I still have to cut a bunch of all the other bracketry and everything that
the leaf spring brackets.
Yeah. And they had like a panhard bar, or they had a high bar on there for something. Okay. I don't know exactly what it was for. I'm trying to think
with
about it.
With leaf spring perches?
Yeah. I don't know what it has a high mount. There's like a thing that's elevated on there. And I don't remember what it's for. Maybe it was an axle wrap setup or maybe something for the brakes. I'm not sure what it's for, but yeah, all that needs to come off. So I still have a bunch of cutting and grinding that I need to do, but a lot less now that I don't have to rip off all the stuff that I welded on there previously.
Yeah.
So it was a win-win for both of us. He got an axle that already has a bunch of stuff done to it. And I got an axle that I don't have to do nearly as much work on to get it to where it needs to be for the 4-wheel underground kit.
Nice. Cool. So you got that all swapped out. I'm sorry. Are you going to be able to start moving forward soon on Samantha? And
my goal, which I know I've said goals and stuff in the past, but my real goal is to start the first of the year for the most part at the beginning of the new year. I've said it before that we're having a New Year's party and there's just a lot of little things and cleanup that I want to get done around the house. And I'm going to focus the next week or so on that. And hopefully the house will be clean enough and organized enough, and we'll have things like all cleaned out of the inside of the house, maybe some stuff still in the garage, but a lot of the smaller things that would need to get done right now will be done before the party.
Yeah.
So that in the start of the new year, I don't feel like I have to do a bunch of work on the house continuously to, get it to where it's in a good living situation, it can coast for a while, or maybe I can do a few days on the truck and one day on the house instead of vice versa. So I'm really concentrating on getting that house prepped and ready for the party. And then I'm hoping I can sit down and start focusing on Samantha.
Nice.
After that, I have been cleaning the shop out. Douglas Higbee and Ben Hayward came over and took the planer out of the shop.
Okay.
Because we did get a planer at one point to start doing the rounds, but then you found a good way to chop the rounds so that we don't need to plane them smooth for the adventure that we were going to take up of laser etching. What do you want to call them? Paths or trails onto them and selling them as a fundraiser. So I don't need the planer anymore. So that got taken out. And then there's a bunch of cardboard boxes and paper and other crap in there that I've just been cleaning out. And a lot of it comes down to just organizing. There's a shit on any flat surface in that shop has just crap on it.
Yeah.
And I just need to start putting things away or figuring out where things need to be put away. That's really the hardest part is like, I'll get something. I'll be like, I don't know where this goes. Like this thing does not have a place. And I need to organize the entire shop sort of that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So hopefully start of the year, I will either be fully invested in getting the shop prepped and ready to start working on Samantha, or hopefully even better would be that I'd immediately start working on that truck.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. So right now, Samantha's sitting as pretty much a bare frame with a drivetrain sitting in the middle of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. On jack stands. The rear has I was going to do those sliders. So those are still clamped on there, with the leaf springs underneath and an axle sitting on it.
Okay.
So that's sort of all mocked up. So it's still sitting there like that, but I'll probably just remove that the start of shooting the videos.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure how I want to start this series because I've started it 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah.
And in the past, it's like an entire episode of me talking about the evolution of this truck. And it's now changed so many times. You know, I'm not entirely sure how I want to start it, but I'll figure that out. I might do like a episode 0, vlog of it or whatever and talk about it. I also might shoot the entire thing before I release videos.
That may not be a bad idea.
No.
Yeah.
Because I've started shooting videos and releasing videos, and then I've stopped and never continued. And so I think I don't want to shoot myself in the foot and do that again, where I just might shoot videos and finish the truck and then start releasing the videos after
then do the editing and release. Yeah. I like that plan. So yeah, I'm excited to see how Samantha turns out and how differently it wheels from Bobcat.
Yeah. So I'm really curious on that as well. I think that's going to be the big fun surprise that we can get from this build there's a few things. It would be really fun if it was an extra cab chassis.
Yeah.
Right. So the wheelbases would be about the same length, which I'm definitely going to extend the wheelbase a few inches, probably in each direction. I might push the rear axle back a little bit more. We'll see how that goes. I'll have to talk to Brian and see how the kit works that way. But I am going to push the front axle forward 3-ish inches, maybe 4. Just to give me the clearance on the fender, but just to extend that wheelbase a little bit more. But that would be a lot of fun to see. Okay, here's pretty much the same bodies, same chassis, leaf springs versus coils.
Yeah, coils and links, coilovers and links.
I think I'm going to even do same tire size, maybe go 40s. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that would be a fun thing to see. Like, okay, this is how much this one flexes. This is how much this one does it. This is how this one feels down the trail. This is how this one feels down the trail.
Yeah.
You can get the torque app up and set it in the same spot with the same mount and put that G, they have the G reader, how many G's you go through.
Okay.
Right. Force.
Yeah.
And you could drive down the trail at like 10 miles an hour to how much do you bounce in a leaf sprung rig and how much do you bounce on a coil sprung?
Yeah.
I think, there's a few fun little tests that we could definitely do.
Yeah, I agree. I'm speaking about Brian.
Oh,
I had a fun chat with Brian.
Oh, okay.
He's releasing a couple of new things.
Oh, good.
Yeah. One is a rear cantilever.
Yeah. You talked about that one a little bit ago.
Yep. So he's got pretty much that all set, ready to go.
Sweet.
He's getting different vehicles to do testing on fitment testing, right?
Okay.
To make sure that his brackets and everything are fitting the way he wants them to on the different vehicles. So rear cantilever, outboard the coilovers next to the frame.
Okay.
10-inch coilovers.
Yeah. Are
netting a 16-inch droop.
Wow.
On the axle. That's with his cantilever. And on a 65 WMS axle, it's netting 24 inches of wheel travel at the hub at the WMS.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's up and down.
Articulation.
Yeah. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
On my axle, that's 75.5-inch WMS.
Yeah. What's the arc of that?
Yeah. The arc and the articulation on that is going to be would be more. So right. I'm excited to kind of start working on that with him. I think that's going to be next year at some point. But he also designed a really cool skid plate transfer case crossmember.
Oh, okay.
For dual cases to work with his link brackets.
Oh, nice.
Because that was the big problem, quote unquote, the big problem is that in order to really run his link brackets up on the frame, you have to run a very, very tiny crossmember or no crossmember at all. And you have to run that horse collar transfer case mount that I think you're running. Do you have that one or
no? Okay.
I thought you were running it at one point.
Oh, the horse. Oh, the one that goes all the way around the backside of the T case.
Yeah. And it uses the T case bolts to attach to the T case.
Yes. I have that one on Bobcat.
Okay. So that's the one my dad has as well. Mm-hmm. I hate the horse collars. Right. And so I was like, I'm not going to run a horse collar on my transfer case. And Ori and Alex ended up making and converting my skid plate crossmember into something that could be used with Brian's brackets.
Okay.
But Brian is launching his own.
Nice.
So it's actually a really stout thing and it utilizes UHMW on the bottom of it. So crossmember skid plate is going to be lighter weight than like that Trail Gear 1/4-inch plate one. Mm-hmm. Lighter weight, stronger, and more slipperier. Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Well, Brian, I might need that.
Yeah. So I was talking with Brian about that. And then he has a couple of other projects that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
But there's some really cool stuff.
Some of them.
Really, really freaking cool stuff that's coming out from Brian's magnificent little brain there. So everybody keep an eye out for what Four Wheel Underground's doing.
Well, once that cantilever one comes out, we'll have to have him back on the podcast and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, that's exciting news from Four Wheel Underground and Brian over there. And I'm super excited to actually start putting my hands on his suspension kit and putting that onto Samantha.
Get your hands on his parts.
I'm going to get my hands on the important parts.
Yes. Yep.
And install his parts onto Samantha.
Yep. Yep. So there's all that going on. Let's see. I went up to Uncle Tom's for a toy drive.
Yeah. Yeah. How was that? Who puts that on?
The Jeep Herders.
Jeep Herders. That's right.
Yep. So it's the Jeep Herders and that one's pretty cool. It's done through Jeepers Jamboree pretty much. And it benefits a toy drive in Georgetown. Oh, so kind of the whole emphasis behind Jeepers Jamboree is benefiting Georgetown, right? So this same concept, a toy drive for Georgetown. And so you go and drop off all your toys at the Jeepers Jamboree office in Georgetown and then head out to Uncle Tom's cabin. Dave McKinney does a tri-tip barbecue.
That's where all the photos came from that I saw recently. Got it. Yep. Okay.
So McKinney Rubicon Trail Adventures has his Traeger on the trailer. And so he was doing tri-tip and hot dogs and chili for people. So it was pretty cool being out there, getting to see a bunch of people I knew, haven't seen in a little bit. And so it was fun. There was no snow though. I guess there was a little bit of snow on the ground. It was more like a crusty ice, 1-inch layer of crusty ice. Yeah, nothing like last year, but the weather was gorgeous. Unlike last year.
Right.
Last year we went there for this event and it was just like that frozen rain crap that you just can't be in.
Yeah. Yeah. That stuff sucks.
Yeah.
Where it's like slushy, frozen rain that just immediately is thawing on everything it touches and getting wet, but it's frozen flying through the air.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this year the weather was absolutely gorgeous. It was great being out there and getting to chat with everybody. So did that for Saturday morning and then Saturday evening, I got back and cleaned up the front yard, rearranged the garage so that I have a place to put the gun safe.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Where you more or less, what corner or area are you going to put it?
Dead center in the back.
Center straight back. Got it.
Yep. So I found out the shelf I have there is just like 6 inches wider, 7 inches wider than the safe is.
Okay.
So I just took some of the shelves, the bottom shelves out of the shelf unit and push the safe back into the wall.
Perfect.
Yeah. So it's going to go back there. And then once I got that set up, I went and ordered another firearm.
Of course.
Yeah. So that one should be actually in. He said 3 days or so. Maybe he meant business days. But yeah, it'll be in this week here and I'll be able to go and start the paperwork on it. So
nice. What size bullet does that one shoot?
A 9mm.
9mm. Okay.
In a rifle format.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Those are fun to shoot.
Yeah.
Because they're not expensive relatively, right?
Exactly. Right. They're not expensive.
They don't kick too hard and they're fairly accurate.
Pretty accurate up to from pretty good distances too. Nothing like long range shooting, but when it's coming out of an 18-inch barrel, you get a lot more accuracy out of it. And the cool thing about this one is that it uses Glock pistol or Ruger pistol magazines.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
so
cool.
It's, I don't know what the technical, it's a carbine.
Hybrid.
Yeah. It's a carbine. So but it's kind of a nice little thing. It breaks down. So you can kind of pack it away and take it in like a backpack somewhere. Not quite as far down as like a Kel-Tec does for anybody familiar with Kel-Tecs, but it's the Ruger PC9 carbine. Okay. So the whole barrel comes off pretty easily and you can stash it away in a backpack and carry it around somewhere. So, but it takes 9mm Glock or Ruger magazines, which is kind of nice. So you can just kind of have, all my pistols are 9mm. So I just have a bunch of magazines and
you don't have to have additional variations of magazines. In a way, you'd think that they would kind of make magazines standard so you can just swap them between things. All things. That'd be nice. So then you can, I guess variation there would depend on the cartridge or the, what do you call it? The bullet size or the whole casing and all.
Yeah. If you could make the casing size all universal, not the magazines for each casing size.
Yes.
If that could be all universal, that would be nice. But no,
so all 9mm would all be the same. And all,
45s, all 40s, all
225s or whatever. 30-06s.
Yeah.
It would all be the same.
Oh man.
That would be kind of cool because then, you wouldn't need, each brand wouldn't be also specific and you could just grab your magazine and throw it into your buddy's gun, or you could grab it and, put it, in any of your variations that all have that same size.
You can shove it in any hole then.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like, those new iPhones coming over with USB-Cs, which is crazy.
What a concept.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, and I did hear that they're standardizing electric vehicle plugs.
Oh, that's
as well.
Okay.
So that, the Ford and Chevys and Teslas and all of them, they're going to have the same plug. So you can go to any charging station.
That'll be nice.
Yeah. That makes sense. It's like a gas filler.
Yeah.
With all the vehicles out there have a standard gas filler. Yep. So a gas hole.
Yep. Your gas hole. Put your gas shaft into your gas hole.
There you go.
Yeah, man. So anyways, it's a fun little firearm that I'm picking up. It should be, just a fun thing. So
cool. Yeah.
Got all that set up.
You did inform me that you installed the radiator, the 4-core radiator into the 4Runner. Did you do that before you went up to Uncle Tom's?
I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, I got done afterwards. But I will say I drove up to Uncle Tom's with the Metal Cloak guys. And they like to drive fast.
They do.
And I was able to keep up with them just fine. And my engine temperatures never really went over 205 degrees, which is pretty good considering how hard I was pushing the engine, keeping up with them.
Yeah. It's cold out though.
And that's the thing, right? It's cold out right now. So the cooling is a way better. But I was running the heater and I was also running the heater, right? So you've got the coolant going through the heater core.
Yeah,
you got a
draw there.
You got a second radiator going on. So it was running very cool, but that was with the 3-core radiator. And the interesting thing is I remember this year when I went up to Barrett Lake, I went up and took Hussman up to Barrett Lake and we drove the 4Runner and it was early in the morning. It was like 6 a.m. So it was still cold outside and the temperatures were still raising in the 4Runner up to about 220, 230 degrees, going up a couple of stretches on Highway 50.
Okay.
So
what's the difference?
And what the difference is that we wrapped the crossover pipe.
Got it.
On the engine.
So that was what you did. Did you do the hood louvers?
No, haven't done those yet.
Okay. So the only real difference is that you've wrapped the crossover pipe and you are seeing a drop in the temperature.
Not only a consistently lower driving temperature, but also as soon as like I'm done climbing something, I'm coasting or I'm letting off the gas and going, it's no longer a high load on the engine. Is that the temperature, the engine coolant temperature is dropping much quicker.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which means that I don't know if it is the whole issue, but a major part of the issue was that it's just holding heat back there between the engine and the firewall where the coolant temperature sensor is.
Right. That makes sense because that temperature sensor, if it's just holding heat back there and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, it's, it's like a stove or an oven in that area. So if it's dropping temperature fast, then I think that you solved the problem.
I hope so.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Right. And so,
which I've never understood. We'll talk about that at another time.
It's a really interesting problem that I've never really, and from people I've asked, I haven't found anybody that's really had this issue either, which makes me think that, again, it comes from setting the engine down and backwards into the firewall when we did the engine swap, because I don't know of many other people that have actually done that. Right.
Installed the engine that way.
Installed the engine that close to the firewall before. And so, yeah, I think I'm hopeful that it's solved, but every other time in the past that I've said it's solved, it hasn't been solved.
Right.
But it is looking very, very promising now. And so I had the 4-core radiator anyways. And Ryan, actually, he's, getting really close to having his 4Runner back up and running. I'm an operational.
MF Ryan.
MF for Ryan. Okay. Yep. And so
not battery Ryan,
but he wanted a new radiator. And so I was like, well, I have the 4-core, and if I put it in, then I'll have a really nice 3-core aluminum that has been a great radiator. And so he came over and helped me swap it out just because I have the 4-core. I'm like, yeah, let's put the 4-core in. Sure. I've heard nothing but good feedback from running that 4-core radiator. So we put that in. And
how much thicker is the 4-core than the 3-core?
It's like another 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch thicker. Okay. It's a chunky monkey.
And are you running the stock fan on the front of the engine?
No, I did not put the mechanical fan on. Okay. I did buy a mechanical fan to put that on too. Just, I'm like, let's go try a mechanical fan. See if that does anything. But I think that the wrap on that crossover did the trick. So I'm still running the electric fan.
Okay.
And luckily the electric fan and shroud fit the 4-core as well.
Sure.
So it's kind of like a universal fitment between the two radiators.
Yeah. I was going to say since it's slightly thicker and if you had the mechanical fan on there, the stock fan, now you brought it a little closer. So it'd probably draw a little bit better as well.
It probably would. Yeah. I didn't think about that. I was wondering if we were even going to have enough room.
Really?
Yeah, wow. But my engine is sat back, so I have more room between the front of the engine and the fan. But Ryan, MF Ryan, set up the 3-core radiator and my old Black Magic fan.
In his 4Runner.
And he has like 1/4 of an inch between his pulleys the Black Magic fan.
Hopefully that engine doesn't rock forward a little bit.
And so I'm kind of like, yeah, you'll probably be fine until you blow a motor mount.
Yeah. Self-clearance.
Yeah. Right.
Just grind away the plastic of the Black Magic fan.
Yeah. It has a beefy shroud on that thing. So, but anyways, I think the problem is solved. Driving the rig over here today, it never went over 188 degrees.
Well, yeah. But you live
cold and I only live 7 minutes away. Yeah. So I need to go drive it around and do some trips up the hill to really stress the engine, the motor, and see what the temperatures do now. Right. With the 4-core and the exhaust wrapped.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah. I drive Clifford down here. It doesn't warm up until I get like halfway here. Nice. 30 minutes down the freeway. It's starting to warm up. That big old truck.
So anyways, did that. Next on the to-do list for the 4Runners, once I have the cooling solved, I'm probably going to build a new bumper. So I'll be building a front bumper, rear bumper, and redoing the sliders.
Yes, you need to do that.
The sliders keep moving around now.
They're fatigued.
Yeah. So I need to do all that. That's next on the to-do list for the 4Runner. And then while I'm doing all that, I'll probably take the exhaust off and wrap the entire exhaust. And I want to put the catalytic on flanges.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that apparently when I installed the catalytic converter.
Last time.
Yeah. So I want to put it on flanges this time, but I want to wrap everything when I do it. So.
Right. Nice. Yeah. I need to, that reminds me, I need to take Bobcat in to get smogged.
Yeah.
I'm a little overdue now.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be that bad. I need to put my catalytic converter in.
Oh, yeah. That's a thing, right?
It is.
Oh, one thing that got done on the 4Runner, I didn't do it. But so I've been talking with Brian, 4-Wheel Underground, about my rear shocks, my rear coilovers. And when Ori, for those who don't know about this story yet, when Ori installed the 4-Wheel Underground kit in the rear, I told him the kit is designed for 14-inch coilovers. I went with 12-inch coilovers, so you need to trim and mount the lower shock brackets accordingly, appropriately.
Yes. Yeah.
He didn't do that. So the rear shock brackets hung really low below the axle, and I had to run like 4 inches of preload on the coils in order to get the rig to sit level.
Right. Okay.
So with that much preload on the coils, that meant that the coils were always in tension or compression, and putting, just anytime I went over a bump, it didn't absorb very well. I needed to redo the valving in order to compensate for the 4 inches of preload.
Yeah. Right.
So I've been talking with Brian about this, and he's like, yeah, let's A, get your shock bracket set up properly. And B, let's get new coil spring rates in under there as well, so that we're not having to sag a little. We're not having to depend on a ton of compression out of the springs in order to get you to sit level.
Right. Because Kermit has a fat ass.
He does. And once he's trail loaded, he's got even a bigger booty. So multiple people have been calling him Big Booty Judy now lately. So we might end up having a name change for Kermit and a sex change too, if it becomes Big Booty Judy. So anyways, so
maybe we'll just do Mrs. Piggy.
Miss Piggy. That's funny. Let's see. Dave Pfeiffer, one of the original Sierra Rock Crawlers, does a phenomenal work on stuff. So I just dropped it off and said, here, Dave, do your magic.
Okay.
And he had it all done before the toy drive, which was really impressive.
Dang.
Yeah. He did it, I think, in like 3 days. I was like, damn, Dave, I was not expecting that. So anyways, he got it all done, and I now have gained like 3.5 inches of clearance under the coilovers.
Wow.
Yeah. And he swapped out the spring rates. So now when I go over stuff with the rear end, it doesn't like bump and jar. It's actually really smooth on the rear end now on everything. So good call from Brian on the coilover rates and recommending to trim the fat under the axle there. And then thank you to Dave for getting the work done. So
yeah, that's cool. I did see
working good now.
Photo come across from Dave. I think he sent it to me directly of your rig. I had his spot, but I didn't know why. And so now that makes sense. Okay. So you're trimming underneath the axle with a drop there. For those coilovers. Cool. Yep. So you got 3.5 more inches of clearance under there from what was before?
From what was before, because of just those shock mounts were hanging so low. Now they're tucked up pretty well. They're still low of the axle tube, hanging below the axle tube, but they're not lower than the diff anymore by a long shot. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think you'll be much happier with that.
I'm going to be a lot happier. So now I'm currently just waiting on the adapters from Bora, so that I can, and snow and more snow, so I can play around with the tracks.
Yeah. I swear every year they say, oh, it's going to be an El Nino year. We get nothing.
Yeah. We've had nothing so far this year. Absolutely zero.
And I know El Nino is a warmer storm and it means more rain, but still we're behind on our annual rainfall. Well, for this section of the year, we're behind on that rainfall so much, which is crazy already. So hopefully we get some good storms coming. That's a good goal of mine in life, is just
more storms.
I love storms.
Yeah.
I don't like trees falling down, but I love having storms around.
Yeah.
I should move to like storm Seattle, I guess, or something.
Yeah. PNW.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can go move into Tornado Alley.
I don't like those storms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go up to Humboldt. Move up to Humboldt.
Oh, that'll work. Yeah. I was going to go, hey, Nate, I'm coming up, but
yeah.
Humboldt. I don't know. I don't know of any YouTubers or podcasters up in that area.
You could be the first. Set a trend.
There's some good trails out there too.
And
Lost Coast area and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. There's probably a bunch of fire roads that you don't want to travel down also.
Yeah. Yes. Be careful. Be careful about where you travel up in Humboldt area.
Yeah. There's a lot of illegal farming kind of going on, and they protect it fairly well. Though I have heard that a lot of that illegal farming is going away since they've legalized marijuana in California.
Yep. It has. So it'll always still be there in some form or another, but it's a lot less now.
Yeah.
So cool, man. That's all I got for this episode.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have an immense amount of things as well either. Yeah. I've been thinking about cleaning the shop. That's since you've been talking. I've been like, oh man, there's all these things I need to rearrange and move and clean out.
Yeah. You got a lot to do in there. There's a lot of stuff in there right now.
A ton of crap.
Well, cool. I have another toy down here from Unique Componentry. We could talk about that on another episode once I play around with it a little.
Yeah.
And
that'll be exciting.
Yeah, that's it for today. So I guess if you guys have any feedback for us, or you guys want to give us a call, leave us a voicemail, say, hey, what's up? Let us know some of the safety things you do in your shop. Like Tommy did. You can give us a call, 916-345-4744. Hopefully everybody got that. If you didn't, you can look down the show notes. And of course, we have social media. We love chatting with you guys and talking with you guys over there. And that's 4x4 Toyota Tyler and Snail Trail 4x4 over on the Instagrams. And then there's emails as well, Tyler or Jimmy at snailtrail4x4.com. You can reach out that way and talk to us there. So Jimmy, J Daddy, Offroad and Jet. Any final words for everybody out there?
You think I should put Samantha all the way back together so I could just start the video series at the beginning again?
Yes. And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you.
Okay. Ready?
Do you know how much it costs Santa to park his sleigh?
No.
It's on the house.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call a snowman with a six-pack?
I don't know.
The abdominal snowman.
Yeah, that's true.
What's the Grinch's least favorite band?
I don't know.
The Who.
Why is it his least favorite?
Because of all the Who's in Whoville.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Need to rewatch that movie, huh?
Yep.
Which one of Santa's reindeer has the best moves?
Dancer.
Yeah, good job.
Isn't Dancer's not even a reindeer though, is it?
Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen, doesn't it? Isn't it? I think
Dancer?
Are you going to Google it now?
I'm Googling it,
okay.
Yeah.
A few moments later.
Yeah, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid,
Donner.
it says Dunder.
Dunder?
And Blixum.
Blixum.
I think somebody changed that. Donner and Blitzen.
I know that Blitzen's German for lightning.
Mm.
And I think maybe it is Dunder because I think they're German words. Those ones are. And maybe it's thunder.
In traditional festive legend and popular culture, Santa Claus reindeer are said to pull a sleigh through the night sky to help Santa Claus deliver gifts to children. A number of reindeer characters and the names given to them vary in different versions, but those frequently cited in the United States and Canada are the 8 listed in Clement Clark Moore's 1823 poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, the work that is largely responsible for the reindeer becoming popularly known. In the original poem, the names of the reindeer are given as Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Dunder, and Blixum.
Okay.
Interesting. And then the popularity of the 1939 storybook and Gene Autry's 1949 Christmas song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, resulted in Rudolph often being included as a 9th character. But then those songs said Donner and Blitzen, not Dunder and Blixum.
Interesting.
Yeah, we have controversy, everybody. Who are the 8 reindeer? The world needs to know.
Yeah. So Dunder and Blixum means thunder and lightning.
So there's everybody's Christmas lesson for today.